What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Emperor Atheist channel with your host, Emperor Atheist. Today's topic basically is dealing with, of course, false things and mythical stories in probably your favorite book called the Bible. Noah's story, particularly. I just came across an article. I was writing an article as far as dealing with counter apologetics and some kind of way. I don't know. I came across this particular article online, and 2017 people still believe in the actual occurrence of Noah's flood, and it's I mean, of course I'm an atheist, and I guess I shouldn't believe in none of this bullshit, period. But still, I'm just thinking, still thinking, because I was a theist for most of my life, and I'm just thinking, how can people actually accept bullshit like this? And this is the thing, I'm going to get right into it. As far as Noah's flood is concerned. Now, do I think Noah was an actual historical person? Of course not. Hell no. Nowhere in hell. But let's just get into the meat of it. The common sense of, I don't know if I should use common sense, because everybody that believes in this stuff, I guess all common sense is not equal. So let's just get into the meat of the subject matter as far as Noah's flood is concerned. First of all, this is a thing that must be understood. The Bible says that all of the world flooded, right? And this is how the Bible explains it. But this is the thing, though. If all of the world flooded, then this means that this God, this cruel God, has got to be an evil God. He actually destroyed all these other innocent animals, because all the animals didn't get on the boat. And he killed all these other people that was obviously around the world, obviously, during this particular time. Or either this particular crazy deity, he just killed people within this certain area of whatever you want to call it, Middle East, Turkey, I don't know, wherever the fuck Noah was at. Because we know that the boat, according to the Bible, it stopped, and after the 6 months they was on the water, it stopped at Mount Ararat. Which brings me to the topic of Time magazine 1960 article was showing that these first people who claimed to have found the ark, 1960, Time magazine ran this big article on it, and y'all can go back and Google. Matter of fact, I'll just put in the links in the video, in the bottom of the video. But anyway, from that particular time, it was debunked, of course. All type of people, religious people, came and said, oh, they found Noah's Ark, and it was debunked. And Noah's Ark, since that time, has probably been discovered probably about 30 times. It's been discovered about 30 or 40 times, and it's all been bullshit. But this is the thing. Just going on common sense. And you don't have to be a geologist or archaeologist or any of that to figure these things out. First of all, we know for a fact that, and then I'm going to just go off into some questions about, to the people who actually believe this bullshit, just ask you a few questions that you should ask yourself. When you get time alone, just ask yourself some of these questions. But first thing I want to say is this. There's been no scientific evidence of us ever finding any evidence or fossil evidence from Turkey that animals reestablished themselves in Turkey. Think about this. If Noah's flood, right, it landed, once the water abated and went down, and it landed on Mount Ararat, right? One thing for sure, then, penguins, polar bears, if all these animals on the ship, as the Bible say, kangaroos, all of these particular animals that were not indigenous to Turkey would have to go back to their respective lands, right? Okay, ask yourself that question first. And if that is the case, we should have found something in the fossil record that shows where penguins, polar bears, black mamba snakes going back to Africa, South Africa, kangaroos, almost 7,000 miles back to Australia. Don't you think there would be fossil records, that would be deaths, births of these long migrations back to their respective lands? Or do you religious people just think that your all-powerful God just teleported these animals back to their particular geological locations? Now, I want you to think about this, and before you give a stupid answer like that, please rethink before you answer. Now, the thing is this, that's busted up. We have no scientific evidence, no fossil records of any of these animals going back to their location after the ark landed in the mountains of Mount Ararat. Now, let me explain something here. Mount Ararat is not just one particular mountain. It's like a little set of mountains, big mountains, little mountains. The mountains of Mount Ararat. Ararat is basically a location. But let's be sure on this. Let's be clear. There's not one zilch cinch of evidence of any animals, fossils ever being found, or any starting point. Because obviously, if your God, your biblical God, said that he was going to flush the world and flood the world, then obviously this was a new starting point. I mean, he killed everything that was there first, right? And he saved 8 people: Noah, his 3 sons, and their 3 wives, right? And his wife, right? Okay, he's 8 people. Okay, and the animals that were saved, some went by pairs, some went by sevens, whichever part of Genesis you want to listen to. And if you go on this particular story, then you have to think about what is the particular science, what is the particular evidence that we have to show that life restarted in Turkey? And the answer to that question is simply none. So the other questions that must be asked dealing with this false story of Noah's flood is, because you still have people like Ken Ham. Oh my God, these guys are ridiculous. He even has a museum. Those who want to Google it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put that dumb ass link just to give people an idea of what Ken Ham was talking about. Ken Ham was a very famous dodo bird religitard who tries to stand up for Christianity. He just had this big debate with Bill Nye a while ago. I don't know what came out of the debate. I seen the debate, but I mean, it amounted to nothing. But whatever. I think the only thing came out of it was basically money. But I'm gonna put that link in there too. Ken Ham's museum on his idea of how the Noah's flood happened, and it's all wrong, scientifically wrong as far as how fossils got to certain places. Because think about it: if one big major flood happened, then automatically certain fossils that was in certain locations in salt water or lakes or rivers, these things would all be mixed up. So the way that he has his museum set up is automatically erroneous to how a flood would have actually done the surface of the earth. But that's a whole nother subject matter, because that's Ken Ham. So those of you familiar with Ken Ham, you know he's a dodo bird anyway. But the point that I'm making is, we have no fossil records of any of these animals going back to their particular lands. And then you think about it. If you believe that all of the world flooded, or if you believe that all of the animals got on this boat, according to its mathematical equations in the Bible, and the lengths of it was about a football field and a half, 450 feet long, I think, something like that. I think 150 feet wide, something like this. This boat could not have accommodated all of the animals that on the earth and the insects. Not only that, what are you going to do with all the waste, the doo-doo, and all of this stuff for 150 days? I mean, I think people have to sit back and just think about this, and it's just funny how people still believe in erroneous stuff like this without thinking, because it's all about a God and it's in the Bible, so in their mind that makes it true to them. But I'm here to tell you that shit is ridiculous. Kangaroos. I have to stick with kangaroos, because kangaroos had to come a long way. Now, either you're going to say, people who believe the story, either you're going to say, you got only a few things you can say. Either God just teleported them back, like just magically, right? Or kangaroos never got on the damn boat. Now, make up your mind. Now, if kangaroos was on the boat, then why do we not find a fossil record from Turkey back to the continent of Australia? Now, if you're going to tell me God just magically teleported all these animals back to their respective geological locations, then I have to ask you this question, and you have to answer it truthfully. Why in the fuck, then, would this magical God just not kill the people, just the people who bucked on him and who wanted to sin? Why he could just kill them? Why would he have to tell Noah to build this big-ass boat? Not only did God just kill these innocent animals, all the animals who didn't get on the boat, but he killed babies. You got to think about this. If Noah and his family was living around people We don't know how many people might have been. We're just going to say it was thousands of people living at this particular time, right? And I'm sure it probably was more. You know, just going on the biblical story. God killed innocent infants then. So you're telling me there was no babies around? Only 8 people saved, Noah and his family. So God killed innocent kids who had no idea what their parents were doing. You got to think about this. Your God is evil as shit. Why would you want to serve some shit like that? So he not only did he kill innocent animals, he killed innocent babies and children. Think of how many children probably was drowned. Come on now. So it just the story as a whole doesn't make any sense. And adult people shouldn't believe in shit like that. You just shouldn't believe in stuff like that. It makes no sense for adults, especially in 2017, to believe in erroneous stories like this. Once again, you know, I think the Bible should be put on the same shelf as X-Men comic books, DC and Marvel, and everything else. You know, Tom and Jerry, Disney Channel, because this is the same shit. You know, if you believe in some shit like that this magical God will go through all this trouble of telling Noah to build this big ass boat, and we still don't know how Noah built it. I mean, it's just him and his 3 sons built it. How long it took him to build this big ass boat? Wow. And then go get all the animals. Did Noah travel? It didn't tell us how all the animals got there. I mean, did Noah travel? Did it just magic? All the animals just magically came to his ship and just got on the fucking board and got on the ramp and just went on in the ship on their own? I mean, come on now. He had to go get tigers, lions in Africa, tigers in Asia. I mean, bengals. Think about it, giraffes. Wow, man. This insects. He had to go get insects too, I'm sure, right? Or did insects count as animals or what? How did that work? So I mean, just use your head, man. This shit don't make no sense. So this is why I made this video, just because I just ran up on this article. And, you know, just here to tell you, you know, Noah's flood never happened. It was some bullshit. And if you believe it, you basically have a 3-4-year-old mind. I'm sorry to say that, but no, I'm not sorry to say that. That's basically the truth, because you're not thinking at all. You're not using your head at all if you believe in shit like that. Because you're not thinking. You're just not thinking. It's simple as that. But once again, thanks for liking all my videos. Thanks for all your comments, whether positive or negative. I like to get feedback. I don't care. From religious people, non-religious people, it doesn't matter. Like I said, once again, man, this is the Emperor Atheist. I'm out.